Hello and welcome back to the Fuel for Thought podcast with Will and Fran. Today, we thought we would have our own discussion about the Lewis Hamilton move from Mercedes to Ferrari.
Shock move.
It is shocking.
Shocks the F1 world, you might say.
I mean, the news obviously came out a couple of weeks ago, but I think it's such big news that
You have to talk about it.
we have to talk about it.
Got to. I think I'm still going to be a Mercedes fan next year.
Okay.
But I'm going to want Lewis to do well. Because it's difficult in sports like this. You know, in football, you're always like Man United fan, Liverpool fan, West Ham fan. Like you
West
you
Ham
stay
fan.
with you stay with the
that
team.
One first.
Yeah.
West Ham.
Trying to relate to the
Relate to everyone.
the masses. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
But yeah, in a sport with two people, obviously many people on the team, but two people sort of representing the team in the cars.
Yeah.
It's difficult for people to follow teams and drive it and not drivers. Do you know what I mean?
I think that F1 is a much more lenient sport than you have to strictly follow one team. I think it's fine to follow I mean, I don't particularly support one team or one driver, like all in.
Yeah.
I support multiple. So I think that's fine. And also, wasn't it Sebastian Vettel that said everyone's a Ferrari fan?
Yeah.
So I think everyone is a Ferrari fan. I have a Ferrari jacket. I'm not ashamed to say.
You do.
And I wear it. I'm not ashamed to wear it.
Ferrari is the least controversial one to sort of mix and match. Like,
definitely.
I wouldn't wear this Mercedes hat and then a Red Bull jacket in my cupboard.
I remember once I sent you a picture of me wearing a Mercedes cap and my Ferrari jacket. And I was like, is this illegal? And you said yes. Yes, it is.
Anyway, we digress.
We do digress. When I found out about Lewis Hamilton moving, my friend sent me a picture and I was like, this isn't true. This is just rumours. I was like, I don't believe it until about 7 people sent me different news articles. And I still didn't believe it until it was officially announced. I was like, this is just rumours. Because a lot of rumours go around and some aren't necessarily true. Yeah. And I thought it was such a massive... I just didn't expect it. It was such big news. And also, I thought it was very weird that it was announced this year when we've got a whole season ahead of us. I think
it was leaked in the end.
Okay, so that's why you think it came out.
I don't think either team were comfortable with it coming out when it did, so they kind of had to scramble. At least that's what I've kind of seen online. But
I think if it wasn't leaked potentially, then the news would have originally come from
certain
Ferrari.
People like Lewis would have known, Carlos would have known.
Yeah,
it would have been very awkward if it hadn't come out, right?
True.
There's a bit of tension there, right? So I don't know when it was meant to come out, but
now obviously Lewis has to drive a season at Mercedes knowing that he's not going to be there, and then Carlos has to drive a season at Ferrari knowing that he's not going to be there.
For either driver, I don't know whether it's going to be good or bad. I mean, obviously no pressure from Lewis because he's got to drive next year in a top team.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like he's been in this team since 2013. So it's just sort of one last hurrah really. It's sort of one last chance to win the championship with Mercedes, but
I mean, he's got it quite sweet. He knows that he's going to Ferrari next season and he can just do whatever in Mercedes this season, but then Carlos, he doesn't know
have a drive next season. Yeah, so he's got to sort of drive for his seat.
Drive to survive.
Shut up.
Some may say.
In a different team. Like, obviously, he's a proven driver.
Yeah.
And I think he's probably guaranteed a seat next season. But will there be a seat for him in a team that he matches his talent?
Yeah. It could be another Daniel Ricciardo situation where he would only get a seat in a kind of...
I don't think so, because it's not his fault.
No.
Like, he's done nothing wrong in Ferrari. Like, Daniel Ricciardo underperformed massively in McLaren.
Yeah, true.
It was his own fault he lost that seat in terms of how he drove. But Carlos has outperformed Charles multiple times in a Ferrari. It's just that there's nothing you could do when a 7-time world champion wants to join your team.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like... It's just one of those situations which I guess is a blessing and a curse where you're just like... literally 0% my fault. I've done everything right, but also why?
But even though it's not his fault, if there's not a seat for him next season, there's not a seat for him next season.
I think someone will make a seat for him.
Do you think he'll go to Mercedes?
No.
He might go to Red Bull. He might take Sergio's seat at Red Bull. He was a Red
Bull driver. Yeah. I don't know.
I can see that happening over him going to Mercedes.
It would be a good move, actually. It would be a good move.
But then I kind of want Daniel Ricciardo to take the second Red Bull seat back.
Or he might get a sort of like buffer season at Alpha or Racing Bulls, and just one season to stay in the sport and then go to Audi in 26.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, because there was a lot of rumours of him going to Audi in 2026. He could take a year out, and if he has that seat guaranteed.
Yeah, but a driver like him taking a year out,
he's kind of in
tragedy.
His like prime years, I guess.
Yeah.
How do you think Charles and Lewis are going to be as teammates?
I think they'll be alright. Yeah, I think their personalities are quite like well suited to each other. Like Lewis on camera, I don't know, man. He comes across very sort of like he doesn't really like interviews that much.
Yeah, I just don't think he's a media person.
He just seems like he's like an introverted extrovert, because like he's obviously out there doing all his fashion shows, like putting himself out there into the world. Like he loves rubbing shoulders with celebrities, but when it comes to talking to the camera, it just seems like he just doesn't want to do it.
He kind of opts out on some of the promo or the F1.
It's a bit awkward sometimes.
Yeah,
and
he didn't take part in the
Grill the Grid stuff.
Yeah.
But I just think Charles is a really nice person. Yeah. He comes across like obviously,
don't know these people personally.
Can't know for sure, but he comes across like that on camera anyways.
Yeah. I think they
seem to get along.
Yeah, I think they get on quite well from what I've seen. But I do think there'll be kind of butting of heads of who the first driver is going to be.
Whoever the driver lineup is, if they start fighting for a championship between them, there's always going to be tension.
Yeah.
Always.
Because I guess Lewis will want to fight for his 8th world championship if he doesn't get it this season.
But Charles, since he joined Ferrari, has joined to win championships with Ferrari.
Exactly. This is the thing.
Golden boy at Ferrari.
This is the thing. Obviously, Lewis will be working towards that next championship win, and Charles is working towards his first championship win.
And it doesn't matter who you are. If you are the golden boy at Ferrari, if you're the nicest guy in the world, you're not going to step aside and be like, oh, yeah, actually, Lewis Hamilton, come win the championship instead of me. Like, you're not going to do that. Like, they are in the sport for a reason. They are they have that like do or die championship mindset. Like, they have to have that sort of self-arrogance where they're like, I am the best and I am going to win.
Yeah, and that's why I wonder whether they'll butt heads, because they'll both have that kind of attitude.
And also, is he still gonna be the golden boy at Ferrari?
I think he will.
With a household name like that?
I don't think that Lewis will be at Ferrari for a significant number of years.
No,
I think he might
do
a Sebastian Vettel, stay for a few years. Obviously, he moved to Aston Martin, but I don't think Lewis will move to another team before he retires. So I think he'll probably stay.
And if he does, it'll be Mercedes.
Exactly. So I just don't think he'll be at Ferrari long enough to kind of take Charles's place as the golden boy, unless Charles has a massive flop of a season with Lewis there. It could be good for Ferrari because it could urge them both to kind of bring it to Red Bull. If they're fighting each other, that means they're kind of pushing it to the limits.
As you see, Charles has said he doesn't want to talk about it because Carlos is still his teammate and he has respect for him.
He seems like a respectful man.
Yeah,
so.
He does. But who do we think's going to take that Mercedes seat?
This is the question.
Yeah.
Who are we considering? Obviously, Mick Schumacher. I don't know. Because...
We've got Kimi, the 17-year-old up-and-comer. Is it Kimi Antonelli? Is that his name?
I don't know.
I think so.
Is he an F2?
He is, yeah.
Okay.
So I think he needs enough points to get the super license, but
yeah,
he's obviously like the up and coming prodigy that everyone's got their eyes on.
I think Mick will have a chance. I think he'll have the opportunity to kind of.
For me, if I'm George Russell, and I've put in, I can't remember how many years it was. Was it 3 or 4 years?
I think it was 3.
In it, like
maybe.
Well, he joined in 2019, right? And this is his 3rd season in a Mercedes.
Yeah, so 3 years at Williams.
If I put in my time at Williams when they were solidly at the back, because there was like a stone wall in front of that Mercedes seat.
Yeah.
And
a rookie comes in and...
either a rookie or a Mick Schumacher that has not proven himself very well.
Yeah.
Comes in and just like strolls into that seat. I would be upset, but that's just the way it goes sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah. If you're going to get a rookie, you need like an Oscar Piastri.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
But at the same time, when there was no chance of George getting a seat, Mercedes were winning championships every season.
Yeah.
And now they're not. So
yeah, so it could potentially happen. But I do agree, I don't think it will sit well with George.
Yeah. It doesn't seem fair, but what's fair?
Yeah. He did wait patiently for that seat. But you never would have expected Lewis to leave unless he was retiring. No. So this is kind of an unforeseen situation.
He came out and said that, I always wanted to drive Ferrari at some point, maybe. And I know some people have come out and said, it's easy for him to say now, even though he said before Christmas, I want to retire in Mercedes, allegedly. But he has said that a few times throughout his career at various points. And
remember, Declan Rice did say he was going to stay at West Ham, and he did not. So these things do happen.
Yeah, but come on, Declan Rice shouldn't have stayed at West Ham, even as a West Ham fan.
Yes,
he's destined.
But what my point is, these sports people say stuff.
Yeah,
because they kind of have
they got
to
media
at the
interviews
time.
all the
Exactly.
time, and they're asked these questions and they're expected these responses. So
yeah,
you got to take it with a grain of salt sometimes. But yeah, who else? Fernando Alonso. He could definitely be a contender for, God, he's probably rubbing his hands at that seat.
Yeah, if I was Mercedes, I'd be seriously looking at Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, it's like for like, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're not exactly alike, but it's sort of veteran for veteran.
Yeah, world champion.
Yeah.
Got those under his sleeves.
Yeah.
And he'll probably be hungry for it as well. He's obviously hungry for it from Aston Martin. But it just depends on his contract with Aston Martin.
I don't think it's going to matter.
No, I suppose
Mercedes
not.
would buy him out of it, right?
Yeah.
But
I think that's a very good shout, and I would actually love to see that lineup.
Yeah,
and I think obviously
spicy.
George has a lot of experience now, and this will be his 6th season in Formula One. Mm-hmm. But I think he'll still be able to learn so much from Fernando Alonso from being his teammate.
It's different stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But he's made some poor career moves in the past, or at least the moves haven't gone his way. He's just had some bad luck in the teams he's gone to. At the times he's gone to them, it's just like, could this be the redeeming move for him? Or like the opportunity, his kind of last dance in F1.
Yeah. And he doesn't seem like he wants to retire anytime soon.
No, he doesn't.
So I think that's a very good shout.
Yeah.
Who else is a contender? Maybe Alex Albon?
Yeah, but I don't know if... So Red Bull there's been rumours of Red Bull wanting Alex Albon back to replace Perez.
Yes.
But I wonder if that's to increase his stock so that Mercedes have to pay more for him.
Or
that's just to create a competing bid.
Yeah.
Just stir things up.
I would never have thought that. That's very interesting. And that's very clever. And it wouldn't surprise me if that's the case.
Yeah. But no, he might be a good contender.
Obviously he drives for Williams, so he drives with the Mercedes engine.
Yeah.
And him and George are good friends, so they might make good teammates.
Yeah.
He could be a contender. Is there anyone else?
I think if Mercedes could choose, they would want Lando or Charles, but they're both company men. Loyal, they're just locked into their respective teams.
They're their team's first driver. Yeah. Obviously, Charles is a bit iffy now when Lewis moving there, but I don't think Lando's obviously just signed a new contract with McLaren. I don't think he's going anywhere.
No.
And I can't see. And Charles has also just signed a new contract with Ferrari.
Yeah, but they're the two drivers I'd want. Obviously, Max Verstappen. But
yeah, it would be quite
anywhere.
It would be quite interesting. Max Verstappen moving from Red Bull to Mercedes.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that would be.
And then there's the other one is obviously Carlos Sainz. Just swap.
Yeah.
Straight swap.
I could see that, but less likely.
Yeah, it doesn't excite me, that move. I don't think it really excites many people.
No.
It's fine, but it's not an exciting move.
I think I would really love to see Fernando Alonso in that seat.
Yeah? Yeah, spice things up, cause some drama.
Yeah, I would love that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, yeah, I think that's pretty much it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, let us know what you think. Who's going to take that Mercedes seat? How you think Charles and Lewis are going to get on? Who do you think Ferrari's first driver will be?
Who is going to take that Mercedes seat?
I just really want to know. And obviously, I don't know how early on in the season we're going to find out. I don't think it's going to be early on. I think we'll at least have to wait until the second half. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you have any other suggestions that we haven't mentioned, or you agree with one of our suggestions, or have your own opinions, let us know in the comments.
Let's have a discussion. Yeah.
Yeah, let's open it up. Have a discussion between each other as well.
All right.
Be interesting to see how this develops.
Yeah. So, please, if you want to find us on social media, it's Fuel for Thought _F1 on everything. Links in the description. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. And if you enjoyed, give us a thumbs up on whatever platform you're watching on, whether that's Spotify or YouTube.
Obviously, we're a new channel. Any engagement helps. So, appreciate all the love. Until next time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Peace.
Bye.